And now let us prepare for meditation.
I surrender to the will of God. Abandon all thoughts of my own. I surrender to the will of God, in whom all things are known. I am led, I am guided, I am loved, I am blessed, I am led, I am guided, I am loved, I am blessed. I surrender to the will of God. Abandon all thoughts of my own. I surrender to the will of God, in whom all things are known. I am led, I am guided, I am loved, I am blessed, I am led, I am guided, I am loved, I am blessed, I am loved, I am blessed.
Deep, deep breath in now. Deep breath in, and hold it for just a moment. And as you're ready, slowly exhale. Slowly exhale and settle into this moment, this time. This time that's yours to refresh. This time that's yours to renew. This time that's yours to let go. Breathing in, breathing out now. Relaxing the body. Letting go of any tension, any stress, any noticeable pain or distractions that the body may be experiencing. Just breathing into them now. Breathing into them, and then on the exhale, releasing the tension, releasing the energy, releasing anything that you're feeling, and allowing the body to relax, to settle in. And take another deep breath in if you'd like to, and hold it for just a moment again. Just hold it and let that energy circulate for as long as you can, and then exhale, exhale, and drop the belly. Allow the belly to drop and the shoulders to drop. And in the midst of this relaxation, I claim my divinity and I invite you to claim yours. And in the midst of claiming that, I let go, I abandon all thoughts of my own. Breathing into that now, taking in a breath and exhaling. I abandon all thoughts of my own. And I surrender. I surrender to my divinity. I abandon all thoughts, all stories, any resentments, anything I'm holding on to that's holding me back from my highest and best. I surrender those thoughts. I abandon them now. And I become open and receptive to divine ideas that arise from God mind, that produces ideas, divine ideas that we can express in this human experience. And so I let go in the silence, and I renew in the silence. I abandon thoughts that no longer serve me, and I allow my spirit to quicken with the new. I sit in the silence and refresh, renew, reinvigorate, rethink, re-believe, re-be in the silence, in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out now. Wiggling the fingers and the toes and licking the lips and taking in a breath and exhaling, coming back to this present moment, feeling refreshed, renewed, quickened in spirit with new thought. I say thank you, God, for this time of relaxation and renewal. Thank you, God, for this Lenten season of letting go. Thank you, God, for this ministry and for this worship service, for the meditation, for the music. And thank you, God, for Carlini Marsh as she joins us this morning. As we slowly open our eyes and take in another breath, we say thank you, God. Thank you. Good morning, sweet Carlini. Welcome.
Good morning, Reverend Rich. Good morning, Unity of Davis. Thank you so much for preparing a place for me to be here with you. I'd like to share with you it's the Aramaic Ave Maria, and the melody was composed by Neil Douglas Klotz. And we don't know the deeper meanings of a lot of these scriptures. So this is what Mary heard from the Archangel Gabriel when he appeared to put her at peace with what she's about to embark on. So the first line is, "Peace be with you, Mary. You are complete in blessed ripeness. there is light within you and all around you. Blessed are you, along with all of humanity. And that was interpreted as blessed are you among women, but it was actually all of humanity. And Neil Douglas Klotz suggests that we sing or perceive this as a message from our soul, that we are a blessing and that we have everything we need for our journey, and that it is safe to surrender to our life's journey because this is coming from the source. So don't worry. We've got this. Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki Barita Vinasha Barita Vinasha Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki. Light is within and all around you. Barita Vinasha. We are a blessing. Shlama Laki, peace be with you. Shlama Laki, peace be with you. Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki. Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki. Barikta Vinasha. We are a blessing. Shlama Laki, peace be with you. Shlama Laki, peace be with you. Light is within and all around you. Light is within and all around you. Barikta Vinasha. We are a blessing. Barita Vinasha. We are a blessing. Shlama Laki Mariam Shlama Shlama Laki, peace be with you. Melitai Bukta Maranem Ki. Light is within and all around you. Barita Vinasha. We are a blessing, Varita Vinasha. We are a blessing.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing your energy to us. And you'll be back with another song after the talk. So thank you. Always love having you here.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, good morning. Let me recover from that song and see if I can kick into a talk here this morning. I think I probably can. It's true what she said. We are a blessing. We are a blessing. And any thought other than the fact that we are a blessing, let's just let it go. Let's surrender it right now. Let's put it in the past. It's old, huh? Because we are a blessing. It's the truth of our being. So let's just claim it right now and let go of anything that's stopping us from being there this morning. And I wanted to just take a moment and let you know about a couple things that are upcoming. Bob mentioned that our book study is coming to an end this week, and Paul John Roach, the author of Unity in World Religions, has been joining us for several of the book studies. And I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be away on April 23rd, but Paul is going to be our guest speaker that day. And so it's going to be a wonderful day to have Paul here. Patricia Wright will be platforming, and we'll have good music. And Paul is just looking forward to it. So mark that on your calendar. And then April is Earth Care Month at Unity Center of Davis. And we're going to focus on our Earth Care team and the care of our Earth, the care of our planet, the care of our universe. My goodness. Once a quarter. Here at Unity Center of Davis. And our guest speaker on April 30th is Reverend Sylvia Hayes. And she's also doing a 2-hour workshop afterwards. And the Earth Care team has been working with Sylvia and with the Unity Earth Care team, Unity World Headquarters Earth Care team. And so you'll be hearing more about that, and you'll be seeing it in the newsletter, and you can register for that workshop. And I want to thank David Fleming and that group that's gotten together, and just I can feel the energy already. So thank you very much, Earth Care team. And then coming up in May is Reverend Elizabeth Longo bringing us a workshop and a class on mastering the art of the presence. And she'll be our guest speaker on Mother's Day and then the Sunday after. But I know you're all here to talk about surrender, aren't you? That's why y'all came today. Oh, it's such a favorite topic. Let's surrender. Oh, that Unity Church in Davis, they're going to talk about surrender today. Let's make sure we go. Okay, because we all like to surrender. But what does surrender mean to you? What does it mean to you? Let's stop for a minute right now and examine that. Let's take a look at it, all of us, just for a moment. Take a breath and just relax your eyes for a second. And exhale and ask yourself, what does surrender mean to me? Just breathe into it. What does surrender mean to me? Oh. And as that becomes clear to you, I invite you to bring that meaning, that vision, that what surrender means to you at this moment with you as we move through the service this morning. As we talk about surrender, see if it means the same at the end of the talk. If it changed at all, did it change from what it started out with that meaning, or did it enhance what you already thought it meant? And for most people, surrender gets a bad rap in our society. I grew up with surrender. Was the cavalry retreating and the sound the retreat, and we quit, turn around, we lost. They beat us. God, if anybody should have grabbed a white flag, it was David when he was meeting Goliath, right? I mean, holy moly! But he didn't grab the white flag. He just went to his divinity and said, hey, I need a little help here. Look, this guy is taller than me and I got to get this stone. And I can do it. And with your help, with admitting I need a little help, I can do it. And so, you know, what do we bring in our culture? What do we bring in our belief systems? What do we bring from our family systems? What do we bring from our religiosity, from our spirituality into what surrender means to us? And you know, I have to say this morning, many of you took 3 years ago the Quest, and I love going back to the Quest, which is a book or a course that was put up by Richard and Mary, I think her first name was Richard and Mary Alice, yes, Jaffola. And there's a whole chapter on surrender in there. And I just love going back to the Quest because it's so basic. And some of the points that they bring out that I want to share at the beginning of my talk here is surrendering is not quitting. Surrendering is not quitting. Most people think of surrender as bad. Surrender has traditionally been looked upon as an admission of weakness, of giving up, buckling under, capitulating. Contrary to, the Jaffolas say, contrary to popular belief, surrender can be a positive decision, a positive act. All of nature surrenders. Look at the caterpillar surrendering and becoming a butterfly. Nothing new can happen until the old loses power. Let me say it again. Nothing new can happen until the old loses power. When we surrender, we don't sacrifice anything. We only lose whatever it is that's keeping us the same. Actually, the Jaffolas say, we don't lose anything. We gain everything. So I have to say that when I think about surrender in my own life, I have to go back to, well, one of the greatest surrenders that I ever made in my personal journey is surrendering the fact that I was powerless over alcohol. And that was 30 years ago this year in October. Thank you, God. And I'll tell you, that was probably the hardest thing I had to surrender to. And for me to say I was powerless over something, that this addiction, this albatross, this thought, when you come down to it, this thought had control over me. And how was I going to move beyond that? How was I going to let go of the old and bring something new into my life because I had to? I mean, I've shared the story before about sitting in North Idaho at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a winter's day and having my second bourbon of the day at 1 o'clock and feeling quite drunk and saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired of it. I have to let this go. But you know what? I honestly knew at that very moment that I couldn't do it alone because I tried. And I was reading the big book of AA and getting ready for my talk today because it has so much good in it about letting go. And there's so much about saying that you're powerless over something, when really what we're doing when we're saying that we're powerless is saying that in this human experience, right here and right now, I need some help. I need my divinity. I need to connect with a source higher than myself. And that's not easy. I mean, we tend to not want to make that connection. We tend to push it away. We tend to think that connecting with a power outside of ourselves is not succeeding, is failing, is surrendering, is not good. In actuality, this is what we have to do. It's what I had to do. I had to say, I can't kick this off my back. I need some help. And I reached over at that very moment and picked up the phone book. You remember those, the yellow pages? I picked up a yellow pages and looked under alcoholism, and it said alcoholism recovery. Oh, wasn't that convenient? And I dialed the number and I made an appointment. I had to say that I needed some help. And so when I look back at AA, that very first step is in the 12-step program, and not just in alcoholism, but in so many other 12-step programs, in so many other ways that we can change our life, that we can let go of an old habit, that we can let go of an old thought and move into something new, is we have to say that we're powerless. We admitted that we were powerless over alcohol. We admitted we were powerless over negative thinking. We admitted we were powerless over. But then what I found helpful to me at that moment was the second part of that step, that our lives had become unmanageable. It had become unmanageable. I didn't want it that way. I couldn't manage it. I couldn't manage it as an alcoholic. I mean, you would never have known it. I covered it up really well, but when you knew it, when you couldn't remember how some of the food in the freezer had disappeared and it was you that had cooked it and ate it, and then your life is unmanageable, right? They call that a blackout in AA, oh my goodness, but you have to surrender to the fact that that happened. And so you have to really say, I was powerless over this and my life became unmanageable. And then the second step is to come to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Well, now that's a pretty bold statement, isn't it? Restore us to sanity as if we were insane? Well, aren't we? I mean, when we're not releasing, when we're not letting go of thoughts that don't serve us anymore, that's kind of insane, if you ask me. It's not sanity. I mean, our life isn't manageable when we're holding on to those old thoughts. And so, I mean, when I called out for help in step one, I had to say that, all right, in this human experience, I need some help from my divinity, from my gifts, from my spiritual powers. And so there must be a power greater than me that I can reach out to. And what they told me at the beginning of my recovery was, because I was resistant to that power greater than me, how could there be a power greater than me? In the midst of what the old thoughts you're trying to get rid of, there's one right there that you want to let go of, that there can't be a power greater than me. And so we came to believe, or slowly it crawls into our mind, that there is a power greater than ourselves. And if we just let go, if we would just surrender, if we would just say help, then we could come back to sanity. We could get back into right thinking. We could feel good about ourselves. We could know the truth about ourselves, that we are perfect children of God and that we have everything we need to get us through this human experience if we'll let go of some of our will, our thoughts that have to be right, and say, help, let me take a breath. I need a couple of new thoughts here to move me. Well, that isn't what I had in mind. That isn't what I expected, but maybe I'll just surrender and let that come in anyway, because I couldn't do it on my own. And this is the guidance that I'm getting when I open up. And so things started to work a little bit better when we saw that. They started working for me in my life, in my recovery. Things started changing. My whole way of being with people changed. My whole feeling about myself changed. I discovered unity, and it fit right into this message. And I had to keep reminding myself that I had power, but I was powerless over certain things. And slowly but surely, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him or her or it. We made a decision. to turn our will and our lives over to the care of the universe, over to the care of our divinity as we understood it. Not any specific way. Matter of fact, one of my favorite sayings from my early days in AA was, look, if you don't want to say God, just call it a doorknob. Call it whatever you can. Just something that you can say is a power greater than you. There goes that Italian hand up in the air. And that you can grab onto, you know. In the big book of AA, it's called the third step prayer. And it goes like this. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties. The victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Boy, I mean, that kind of sums it up, you know. And let me tell you, by the time I got to the third step, I needed to say that prayer because, I mean, here I am, you know, with a bunch of recovering alcoholics saying the third step prayer and not believing that I'm saying that I want to let go of the bondage of self and that God, I offer myself to thee. My divinity, I offer myself to thee. I let go of what I expect. I let go of what I think has to be. It's not, if it's not serving me, past ideas, past stories, current stories that aren't serving me. And I clear the way for something new. I create that vacuum. I move on. I want to move on. I'm willing to move on. And so, you know, when you get to that point when you're kind of willing to surrender more freely and you move into it, you kind of get on what I like to think of as the path of the mystic. You know, Charles Fillmore spoke of it, and we spoke about it in early Unity a lot. The path of the mystic is that the human experience begins merging with the Christ consciousness, with the divinity, with the knowing we're one, that duality is really one and can go forward. And so sometimes we think about surrendering as that, Paul makes a reference to it in Corinthians when he says, I die daily. I die daily. I let go daily. I do. It's an okay thing. I give up. And the only thing that's dying in this case, when we know that it's about thought, is the sense of separation. Belief that the things that have emerged because of this sense of separation, these false beliefs, and that we need to have a mind shift. We need to let go. We need to be willing to shift our mind. And so moving along the mystical path, we begin to do some mind shifts. And just a couple that I want to call to your attention is that surrendering false pride to humility certainly is a good practice when we're practicing surrender. Letting go of any concept of self-gratification that's resulting from the sense of separation. So if we can let go of the fact that we think that we already have the answer and be humble to the fact that there might just be a power greater than ourselves that we tap into and that is co-creating with us. When we surrender that false pride, that egotism, that sense self, to humility, to humbleness, to humility, to not needing false pride, to not needing pride, and to go forth humbly with a power greater than ourselves to co-create together. The mystic needs to surrender all control issues to trust. Well, that's a big one. Surrender all control issues to trust. And really, isn't that why we try to take control, is because we don't trust, or so we can trust? And so if I'm in charge, I can trust it. But actually, if I can surrender to trust, to co-creating, to knowing that I'm a divine being on a spiritual experience, and that I can bring those both together, I can move forward on the mystical path. Surrender becomes easier. Knowing becomes easier. Wanting to co-create becomes easier. And I begin the third step of all personal will is surrendered to divine will. The big one. Personal will, surrendering to divine will, is the hardest one for us to do many times, but it's the best one to do. All right, I let go of it. All right, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And so I trust, and I am going to get out of the way, and I'm going to co-create this new experience. Not about the last moment, it's about this present moment that I'm in right now. I'm going to be in this present moment. I'm not going to be concerned with the outcome. I am just going to surrender to the outworking of that co-creation. I'm going to let the higher self work through me. I'm going to let that power greater than me, that I surrender to, that help me move past my powerlessness, that help me solve a problem, that I reached out and said, I surrender. I can't do this in my human experience. I need to have some help. And as that begins to move through our life, we begin to surrender desire and move into acceptance. And so we don't have to have these desires. We can leave the material world if we want to call it that way. We can, yes, be in sense consciousness and enjoy sense consciousness and all of the things that come with sense consciousness that are wonderful in this human experience. But we can be there and know and trust that it's there, and there is so much more there. And we tap into that as well. And bringing those two together, we co-create in this human experience. So I want to invite you, excuse me. I'd like to invite you, excuse me, to our noon meditation. And starting today, we're going to be talking about the processes of surrender. And over the next days this week, I just want to end with the topics that we're going to be talking about letting go of, because they're just what we need to be letting go of. And if you've been going through the process of letting go, you're ready for these. So, of course, we talked today about the Garden of Gethsemane and the story, the passion story about letting go in the Garden of Gethsemane, and how, oh, why do I have to drink from this cup? All right, if I have to take this drink, all right, I'll do it. I'll let go. I'll surrender. And not only am I going to drink from the cup, but one of you is going to betray me tonight. But okay, I mean, what kind of surrender? Think about that. And so then we're going to talk about letting go of perfectionism. If you need to let go of perfectionism, come on Monday, because we're going to let go of it. On Tuesday, we're going to let go of pessimism. Thank God, we're going to be optimistic. Then on Wednesday, we're going to let go of resentment. And if you want to get powerless quick again, grab a resentment, because nothing's better than a resentment to take you back to those old stories of powerlessness. And you really need to grab quickly onto that divinity that you found. And then on Thursday, we'll let go of resistance, because it's, as the Tao told us in our study of unity and world religions, the soft, can wrap itself around the hard. And so let go of resistance and understand non-resistance, and let go of self-pity. Yep, let go of self-pity. Talk about it dying daily, letting go of self-pity. I let go of self-pity daily. And boy, this was a big one for me. I let go of shame. Letting go of those old stories of shame that we carry with us. Oh my goodness. Geez, well, that's a topic for another talk, letting go of shame. And so I invite you to join me for noon meditation, to join all of us. We've had some wonderful groups there. We have some good music, and we do a meditation and then have some quiet time. The chaplains and I will be meeting after that. So chaplains, I look forward to seeing you there. And I just invite you to surrender. Surrender, let go, let a power greater than yourself call in your divinity. I need a little help here in this human experience. Hey, Archangel Gabriel, give me some peace, huh? Yes, please let me call on you for help, okay? Thanks for being here with me. And now let's enjoy the music of Carlini. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.